In one of the highest rated episodes of the classic mob drama The Sopranos, Christopher Moltisanti and Paulie Walnuts get lost in the woods after failing to dispose of a Russian's body. The fan-favourite episode Pine Barrens was directed by Steve Buscemi and was the 11th episode of the 3rd season. In this much-loved and highly quotable episode, Jersey mob boss Tony Soprano sends Paulie to make a collection from a Russian named Valery on behalf of Silvio Dante, who is ill. Paulie goes with Christopher, and after Paulie needlessly provokes the Russian, the three get into a fight, and Chrissy and Paulie end up thinking they've killed Valery. Paulie decides to dump him in Pine Barrens, but to the duo's shock, it turns out the Russian is still alive, and though they direct him through the woods and force him to dig his own grave, Valery seizes on an opportunity, however, when Chris and Paulie's guard is low, to hit them with a shovel and make a run for it. Though it appears Paulie manages to get a shot off with his pistol, they are unable to locate him and end up getting lost in the woods. Tired, cold and hungry, the two bicker frustratedly, and the poor phone reception doesn't make things easy when they try to call Tony for help. There's many reasons why fans love this episode. For one, you couldn't ask for a better pair of characters to be stuck together in the cold in the middle of a forest, and Paulie and Christopher's love-hate relationship has never been displayed better. It's a self-contained episode that ends up in such a bizarre way when you consider it started with a standard collection being made, and it's funny as fuck. One question fans have always had though about this episode was what happened to the Russian. He was a connected guy, very dangerous as he had friends in the Russian mafia. He was a trained commando, and let's not forget his career as an interior decorator. Of course, he might have bled out and died, but surely if he survived, there should have been some kind of retaliation. But strangely, and rather hilariously, we never hear from him again. There are some suggestions in the episode, like for example one aerial shot of Christopher and Paulie walking in the woods which looks like someone watching them from a tree. Also, Paulie's car is missing when they get back to where it's supposed to be. It's one of the most talked about things in the show, and the creators of the show have spoken about it since the episode's airing. Sopranos creator David Chase has said in the past that he never intended for Valery to be in the show again, as the story was more richer and realistic with a mystery element to it. Sopranos writer Terence, who wrote Pine Barrens, said, "That's the question I get asked more than any other. It drives people crazy. Where's the Russian? What happened to the Russian? We could say, well, he got out and there's a big mob war with the Russians, or he crawled off and died, but we wanted to keep it ambiguous. You know, not everything gets answered in life." David Chase also addressed it when he said, "They shot a guy. Who knows where he went? Who cares about some Russian? This is what Hollywood has done to America. Do you have to have closure on every little thing? Isn't there any mystery in the world? It's a murky world out there. It's a murky life these guys lead. And by the way, I do know where the Russian is, but I'll never say because so many people get so pissy about it." Then in another interview in 2008, about a year after The Sopranos finished its run, Chase said, "Okay, this is what happened. Some Boy Scouts found the Russian, who had the telephone number to his boss, Slava, in his pocket. They called Slava, who took him to the hospital where he had brain surgery. Then Slava sent him back to Russia." Then in another interview, Chase said, "You mean the Russian? People came to me. He never went up a tree. He collapsed and he was found by some Boy Scouts. And they got in touch with somehow he was carrying a piece of ID, which led them back to his boss, Slava, the Russian guy. He was put in a hospital and, he was completely his massive brain trauma, and he was sent back to Russia." So it seems like that is the answer that was in David Chase's head, seeing as though he repeated the point about the Russian being found, getting surgery, and being sent back to Russia. Now, though Chase said he had no intention of the Russian ever reappearing on the show, there is evidence to suggest he was going to make a cameo appearance to answer this great mystery. In a 2007 New York Times article in which Michael Imperioli, who played Christopher, said that this show was never what people expected, in reference to the Russian. Tony Sirico, who played Paulie, said that Chase wrote a scene for season 6 in which Paulie and Christopher chance upon Valery and they shoot him to death, but it was removed from the script, and Sariko said, "I think David didn't like it. He wanted the audience just to suffer." So there's a few different answers going back and forth, but there is a more recent one that might be the actual answer as to what happened to the Russian, and it's a bit similar to what David Chase said. So on one of the episodes of Talking Sopranos, in which Sopranos actors Steve Schirripa and Michael Imperioli talk about the show and invite guests on, veteran screenwriter Terence Winter, who wrote numerous episodes of The Sopranos, wrote The Wolf of Wall Street, created Boardwalk Empire, and wrote Pine Barrens, spoke about what happened to the Russian. I'm paraphrasing here, but Winter was asked by Schirripa, and Winter basically said, well, before he addressed how the Russian ended up, he said he asked David Chase, knowing that they were going to make Pine Barrens soon, whether they should get the actor who plays Valery and pop him in an episode, maybe 1 or 2 episodes before Pine Barrens, maybe in a scene with his boss, Slava, with a line or two, so that we as the viewer, when we see him again, say, "Oh, there's that guy who was sweeping the floor." So in other words, he's an established character that doesn't appear out of thin air. Then Winter went on to address the mystery itself, and he said because everyone was asking what happened to the Russian, he had an idea where 2 years later, Christopher goes to meet Slava, and he walks in and the guy is there, sweeping the floor again. And the two lock eyes, and Christopher is like, "Oh shit, he knows me." And when Valery turns around, we see that half the back of his head is gone. He's brain damaged and doesn't remember anything. He's become a vegetable. But he keeps on looking at Christopher in that, "I know, but I just can't communicate." Winter said he pitched this idea to David Chase, and Chase seemingly seemed to like it, until Winter said that he made a fatal error by saying, "The audience is going to love this." And Chase replied, "Well, that's the worst reason in the world to do it. Fuck it, we're not going to do it." So there you have it. It looks as though there were plans, from Terence Winter at least, to answer the Russian mystery once and for all, but it was cock-blocked by David Chase, who didn't want to pander to the fans and do fan service. Do you like the explanation as to what happened to the Russian, or do you think it works better as a mystery? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.